that last one, Sea Song, was the first time when I actually started digitizing the audio. I haven't actually figured a way too much for the picture yet. I still really enjoy getting ink on my fingers and actually working physically on the film, but for the audio, after doing Linear Dreams, I went through so much film, experimenting with sound, shapes, and trying to get rhythm patterns correct and things. I thought it's getting really expensive to do that. So before Final Cut Pro and Premiere was a program called D-Vision. I don't know if anyone's ever used it, but kind of archaic now. I don't even know if anyone doesn't use it. But I thought I knew already in digital that the world can seem like limitless and stuff. So I thought, gotta already go in and put parameters in there. So I thought a nice parameter is to first not change the audio. Like I don't mind using like some like effects like echo or reverb and things like that, but not to actually alter the sound, the original sound. And then to do what you can do on a typical flat top editing bench like the Intercine or Steam Deck, you can have 2 audio tracks. So, but I didn't know much about computers. So the guy Ken Stoffer, I've been teaching at this film school in Galliano for like over 10 years now, and I just started teaching there, and that's what a D-Vision computer is. And during the winter, the school's closed, so artists can go in there and use the equipment. And so I went in, and Ken helped me get set up on the computer, and I told him I just want 2 tracks of audio. I'm going to make it really simple, and that way. And so he showed me how to do the computer, and said, I'll come back in a while and see how you're doing. So okay. And 3 days later, he came back, and I couldn't believe it. And the computer by this time had stopped working, and the soundtrack was just what you heard, but everything was stopped. The computer wouldn't work anymore, and I'm asking, like, something's wrong with the computer, and he's going, you've used all the memory in the computer on this silly 2 tracks of audio. And it was, I didn't know about looping or anything like that, so it was just like 1 note at a time. Yeah, I really taxed the memory on the computer, but so that was the first time anyway trying that out. So yeah, from that I've been actually creating a digital library of the sounds, and the editing is really nice. You know, you can like cut pieces out. So I have at home, my studio consists of upright moviola that runs film at 24 frames a second. So I can make shapes, run it through, and I've got it wired into a laptop so I can record and put them in and give them names and label it, and I kind of organize these sounds. Before that, I was just doing it on paper, and I had a videotape, and so I watched the video. There's like 200 different sounds, and they're all just numbers. And so I'd listen, oh, I like sound 48 was good. Like I look in the book, what was 48? See how it was made that way, kind of. So at least on the computer, you can actually compose, and it really helps save film, and I think time, but for sure then. So that was that. So this next film is called 1-to-1, and what happened with this one was that I started going to festivals, and then with the last 2, and people would ask during Q&A, what are these sounds anyway? And I'm trying to describe optical sound, and so then I thought I would make a film that would actually show these sound shapes on screen. And Norman McLaren had made a film called Synchrony. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's in the library here at Quickdraw. And and he made these cards. It's a little different technique. What he did was take a camera that, you know, normally the camera picks up the image, and it leaves a little stripe blank where the audio should be. So Norman McLaren took a file and filed the camera gate and made it wider so you could actually photograph into the sound area. And then he made those cards with stripes, black and white stripes, and composed them very musically, kind of a keyboard. You know, there was the letters like C and G and all those things, you know. And then he could compose audio. And he made a film that showed those shapes that he made, and with that sound at the same time. But so I tried it with the scratch sounds. So the first part of the film, you'll see these stripes. They're representative of the optical track. And at first, when I was making the film, I just made 2 stripes, and all the sounds went into that as if it was actually on the audio stripe. But the overlap of the images was so great, you couldn't see the shapes very well. So then I tried it again, and I made 3 stripes, and just bounced the shapes left and right, and then you can actually see at least some of them. And then the second part of the film goes into composition, where I assign shapes to those sounds. And there's some sort of like created its own sort of dance or something in there. And then the next film after that is Element of Light, and that is, I think, 4.5 minutes, that one. And that was inspired by you know, the elements of Earth, like metal, wind and water and all that. aired. And then I started thinking about light and how film is so dependent upon light and projecting image as well as projecting the sound, because the sound is optical, it goes through a light beam that projects into the cinema. So that was the basis for it anyway. And it was supposed to be in 4 parts, and each one bit of water. So you might pick out parts that are inspired by wind and things like that, and the sounds too. And yeah, that's it for that one. So let's see it.